Welcome to Signature TV News. I am Vin Martin, Obiora, Ilo. Enugu government launches campaign against open defecation. NEMA receives 103 Nigerian deportees from Turkey. Nollywood stars pay last respect as John Okafor, popularly known as Ibu, is laid to rest. China issues highest level alert for rainstorm. Trump calls for release of those arrested over January 6 attack. Now the news in detail. The Enugu state government says it will launch a campaign to address the menace of open defecation and poor sanitation in the state to prevent the outbreak of cholera and other infectious diseases. The State Commissioner for Environment and Climate Change, Professor Sam Ogu, said this during the commemoration of the 2024 National Environmental Sanitation Day in Enugu on Friday, with the theme, Environmental Sanitation in the Era of Climate Change. Ogu said that the campaign would include the monthly sanitation to promote environmental cleanliness in the state, especially with the outbreak of cholera. He said that the state government would construct and put in use permanent sewage disposal sites and many other activities to ensure a clean and safe environment in Enugu. The commissioner said that the ministry had engaged in environmental conservation, protection of its diversity, urban beautification, and environmental health and safety. On climate change, he said that Nigeria's inability in the past to firmly put into action a plan for the people led to environmental degradation. The remains of the movie icon and comedian High Chief John Okafor, popularly called Mr. Ibu, have been laid to rest at his country hometown, Amore, in Kano West local government area of Enugu State. Signature TV correspondent Ebenezer Odo reports that the burial ceremony was like a carnival of a sort.
The funeral ceremony of the legendary actor and comedian took place at the Methodist Field, Ekeuku Eziokwe, Amore, Nkanu West local government area of Enugu State, where family, friends, and Nollywood actors, as well as numerous sympathizers from the neighboring towns and villages, turned out in what could best be described as a carnival to bid Mr. Ibu farewell. Among the notable dignitaries that graced the occasion was the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election, Peter Obi, the senator representing Enugu East Senatorial District, Senator Kelvin Chukwu, a large turnout of party chieftains, movie actors, clergymen, chiefs, including the traditional ruler of Eziokwe Amore, Igwe Onwe. In his sermon that preceded the deceased burial and reception, which took place at the field, Anglican priest and vicar in charge of late Mr. Ibu's home church, Venerable Christian Nweke, said that those who slept in the Lord, as well as those they left behind, are happy. Venerable Nweke said that Mr. Ibu's death reminds us that the world is not our home.
The people who die in the Lord are happy because death is not their end. And those who they left behind, who mourn their departure, are happy knowing where they have gone.
The Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election, Peter Obi, said that he was around to sympathize with the family of the late movie star and comedian for his various contributions to mankind.
The family and the general public will miss him for his contribution in our lives. Because anybody that contributes in building a better society and making the society peaceful will always be missed.
Some movie actors and indigenes of the area interviewed recalled his invaluable contribution to movie industry and humanity.
I'm here to lend my support, my personality, and show my sympathy for his passing. That's why I'm here in Amore. So we pray for him and his family. And to those of us that are alive, because one day we will be like this. That is the basic truth. His death was a big shock to me. Today we have come to pay him a special respect. Lay him to rest. May Almighty God receive his soul in peace in Jesus' name. And since then, I love him and I love everything that he do. So that's why we have brought ourselves today to join the congregation to pay him the last respect.
Mr. Ibu's wife, Stella Maris Okafor, who said that she is already missing the movie icon, also assured that she will keep the home front intact.
I remember my husband for so many things, so many. The playfulness, the way he relates to me, the way he calls me and say, Mama, first class, make food for me. I am coming back with my friends. You know, the way he will call me and ask me, Ibres, first class, which people are playing ball today? The way we narrate football, me and my husband, you know, because of him, we named my daughter Chelsea.
Late Mr. Ibu was a man of many paths before venturing into film movie acting in the Nollywood industry, where he acted in over 200 movies. He had also successfully gathered moss as a hairstylist, photographer, boxer, football coach, musician, and character. The legendary actor slept in the Lord on 2nd March 2024 at the age of 63 following protracted illness that resulted in the amputation of his leg and his subsequent heart attack. He died at the Evercare Hospital, Lagos. In Amori, Ebenezer Odo, Signature TV News.
Joining me now to talk about the late actor and comedian Ibu and the tourism gains for what Nollywood is doing in Nigeria is former Commissioner for Tourism and Culture in Enugu State, Ozojo Mamelo. Ozo Mamelo, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Let's start by asking you, how would you describe his art?
Mr. Ibu, may his soul rest in perfect peace, is quite a comic character and one of the indigenous artists that, especially in the Nollywood industry and the creative industry. He has contributed a lot, actually, to the Nollywood world. And we know that Nollywood actually is just what I can call the face of tourism in the state. We've tried to create a tourism village in this state, and he was one of the first people we spoke to, about that. And I'm happy that Enugu State government, during their award night, recognized him and gave him an award because of his contribution to the tourism and the creative world. He's very unlucky because he's naturally talented. His manner of jokes and the way he cracks in, is something that is a beautiful flow. So he's not like he's trying to force comedy. He is just a comedian in everything he does. I remember one episode we met him at Nike Lake. He was on his knickers and carrying a sack containing some cartridges. So I told him, this one you are just walking around here and looking at it. He said, yes, that somebody convinced him that he has a good voice. And that he stupidly bought into that and went and did the music. And that when he listened to it, he found out that he made a mistake. Because not only the voice, everything about this cassette is not good, but he's acting on something. Are we going to let him stay with this thing without somebody, buying it off? That he's asking us, at least, for the little energy he has. And not about his voice, but about this. So in everything he does, there is comedy in it. So we really have lost somebody.
When you look at his last days and what had happened, it got to a point where a GoFundMe, a fundraiser and all that. Do you think that as a country that we have really, really treated our icons fairly?
Of course, I don't think so. Not only about Ibu, even in the sports industry. I know what happened to a lot of people that have meritoriously served the state, I know when even Christian Chukwu was sick, how he maneuvered in the same thing. Philanthropists had to put in money, to see that he gets out of his health problems. It's so embarrassing that a person like Ibu that comes from this state could embarrassingly, be put into that position of asking for help financially. I mean, we should always look at their contributions to the state, especially in the tourism. Tourism is one other aspect of the state finances. A lot has happened through creation of Nollywood, for which he has played a very vital role. He has given this state a very good face because he is an indigenous of Enugu State. So when things like this happen, I mean that the state government, it is part of the human development that we should take care of them, you know, and make sure that he does not have regrets over his contributions to the state. I felt really embarrassed that such a thing will happen, and there was not a very visible contribution of the state, you know, to make sure that he has a very proper treatment, unless there are things that was done that we did not know.
Okay, how can governments, and when I talk about government, federal government, state government, local government, how can governments tap into the tourism gold mine that Nollywood, you know, comes with in Nigeria?
I don't really, I see that Enugu has all it takes to create a Nollywood village. We should have one. Because the Nollywood started here in Enugu. It is probably not having a very good framework for their own development, that they have to shift to neighboring states. I now know that Asaba, that is Delta State, is almost a hub, you know, for filmmaking. It shouldn't be that. There are a lot of ecotourism sites that we have that is very, very good for filmmaking. We have like the Henneke Lake, where you have the caves, you know, where you have the 6 pocket lakes, where you have the waterfalls, you know, and the horticulture there is so nice, you know, for making a lot of movies. But the thing that what does a state do? You must have to create an environment that is healthy for that for tourism business. You have to give them that confidence that they are being wanted, you know. And part of this, the first question you ask is that how do you treat the people in the movie world? I believe during our own time we did a lot. We gave them, there was a night of award for people who have really done a lot of contribution to the tourism world. We gave those awards to people like Zaki Oji, Patient Ozokwo, Mr. Ibu, and Oge. I think Oge, I don't know, has shown him now. You know, so it's a way of telling them that we appreciate them, you know, and that we can run this business with them. So the state should not only concentrate on what we call conference tourism. That aspect of filmmaking and Nollywood is a very healthy aspect of tourism that can give a lot of finances to the state. And I think it should be encouraged. So the first and foremost is, what is it that they will need to make them to come over here? We have to know that. And the first thing is good environment. Last time they came here, there was a kidnapping incident that happened to one of their artists, I think somewhere in Kano East. And I don't know how they took it. But you see, issues of insecurity has really affected a lot. In some of the places that they might want to shoot, you must be able to guarantee them that they are secure there. You know, so that is part of it. Insecurity, which I call national insecurity, is affecting a lot, especially into the tourism industry and creative world.
Thank you, Ozo Joe Mamelo, former Commissioner for Tourism and Culture, Enugu State.
Thank you.
The government of Cross River State has described the state rating on child labor by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, as false and not a true reflection of what is happening in the state. The government demanded to know the parameters used by the NBS to carry out the research that rated Cross River #1 in the country involved in child labor with 67.4%. The State Commissioner for Information, Erasmus Ekbang, who made the demand, said Cross River remained the most child-friendly state in Nigeria. Ekbang explained that Cross River showed the value it placed on the rights of every child by being among the first states in the country to domesticate the child rights law. According to him, while the state have continued with sustained advocacy on the existence of the child rights law, they have not hesitated in prosecuting violators and offenders of the law. The NBS report indicates that over 24 million Nigerian children are involved in child labor, with 14.3 million of these children engaged in hazardous work as of 2022, when the last report was conducted. The police command in Rivers State is currently investigating an improvised explosive device IED detonation that occurred near Hotel Presidential in Port Harcourt on Tuesday, an official has said. The spokesperson of the command, SP Grace Iringe Koko, said in a statement in Port Harcourt on Saturday that one male suspect had been apprehended. She urged residents to remain calm as police detectives were actively pursuing leads to identify the sponsors and perpetrators behind the explosion. Iringe Koko affirmed that security measures had been heightened to guarantee the safety of both residents and visitors within the state. While thanking the public for providing information that can assist the ongoing investigation, she urged anyone with information about suspicious objects to evacuate the area immediately and notify the nearest police station. The PPRO urged the public to cooperate with the law enforcement and report any suspicious activities related with the incident. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has received a total of 103 Nigerians deported from Turkey back to Nigeria. The deportees who arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja on Friday through the pilgrims wing of the airport were received by the federal government officials led by NEMA. Addressing the returnees, the Director General NEMA, Zubeidu Umar, admonished them to accept their experience in good faith and be law-abiding. The DG NEMA, who was represented by the Director North Central Zone, Bashiru Gaga, assured them of federal government's concern over their plight. Umar announced that a token of financial support had been provided to assist in their transportation to their various locations. Other stakeholders that joined to receive the deportees were officials of the Nigerian Immigration Service, National Commission for Refugees, Migrant and Internally Displaced Persons, and National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. Others are the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, Nigerian Police Force, NPF, Nigeria Security and Defense Corps, NSCDC, and National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. The Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MAGBAN, has emphasized the need for the protection and preservation of the institution of the Sultanate in the country. The national president of MAGBAN, Baba Othman Ngelzama, who made a call in a statement on Saturday in Abuja, said that the institution of the Sultanate, which dates over 200 years, should not be ridiculed by politicians who are supposed to be channeling their energy in promoting good governance. Othman Ngelzama criticized the alleged subtle threats to undermine the revered Sultan, who, according to him, is a symbol of Islamic authority in Nigeria. Othman Ngelzama said MAGBAN stands firmly with the Sultan, adding that he has shown capacity to uphold justice and equity in all his dealings. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State says President Bola Tinubu has approved the upgrade of the Ibadan Airport to international standard to expand the economy of the state. Makinde made this known when he received the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Baba Abubakar, in his office in Ibadan. The governor said that the upgrade of the airport to international standards would commence in the next 3 weeks. According to him, the project will include the construction of a new terminal, runway, and other structural features. He appreciated the Chief of Air Staff for the efforts of his officers to work with the sister security agencies to secure Oyo State, urged them to maintain the cordial relationship between security personnel and the people of Oyo State. Earlier in his speech, Air Marshal Abubakar described Governor Makinde as a visionary leader, thanking him for his support to the Air Force. He assured that the force would continue to support the state and also build on the mutual relationship with the state. Meanwhile, the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, will henceforth revoke the driver's licenses of disobedient drivers. Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Shehu Mohammed, while addressing newsmen in Abuja on the outcome of the 2024 Eid al-Kabir Special Patrol operations, said that the Corps had realized the increasing need for collective participation and collaboration of all stakeholders. He said the Corps leveraged on this as a necessary variable that would help in achieving the mileage recorded within the periods under consideration. According to him, Efforts are on to strengthen ongoing interagency Joint Task Force JTF to mitigate the excesses of trailer drivers, insisting that enforcing compliance on indiscriminate use of trailers to convey human beings is his priority. He called for an aggressive public enlightenment, robust media engagement, and aggressive advocacy campaigns carried out in motor parks across the Federation. One person has been confirmed dead in an accident that occurred on the 3rd Mainland Bridge in Lagos on Saturday morning. The fatal accident involved a mini truck and a Toyota Camry. The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority last month said a preliminary investigation revealed that the accident was caused by excessive speeding during a heavy downpour Saturday morning. The special advisor to the governor on transportation, Shola Giwa, said that 3 others were rescued at the accident scene. He said the operative of LASMA responded swiftly to the accident, which occurred near the Unilag waterfront, heading towards the Yano Oronshoki area of Lagos. Giwa said that despite the government's ongoing campaign to educate motorists about speed limits, drivers have continued to flout the Lagos State Transport Sector Reform Law 2018. He urged both commercial bus drivers and private car owners to avoid exceeding speed limits on the 3rd Mainland Bridge and other roads throughout the state. Giwa said that the deceased was promptly removed by the State Environmental Health Monitoring Unit officials, while LASTMA cleared the accident vehicles to ensure smooth traffic flow on the bridge. Still to come in the news, aid arrives at town hit by 7.0 earthquake in Peru. Mass same-sex wedding sparks a rainbow of love in Mexico. Don't go away. On the foreign scene, the Ministry of Defense moved aid to coastal region in South Peru that was hit by a powerful earthquake of magnitude 7.0 that left no deaths and some injuries and damage. Planes loaded with aid packages arrived in Arequipa to support citizens after the quake. A total of 8 people suffered minor injuries, with another 5 receiving treatment in hospitals nearby. Following the earthquake, Arequipa was hit by 4 aftershocks of 4 to 4.6 magnitude, causing some landslides on local roads. Prime Minister Gustavo André Nezen visited the town of Yucca to evaluate the scale of the damage. Small artisanal gold mines operate in the town of Yucca and other neighboring towns near the coast, but there has been no information available so far about any impact. France national team defender Ibrahima Konate called on his people to go out and vote in Sunday's first round of parliamentary elections, 2 days before his team will play Belgium in the last 16 of Euro 2024. Speaking at a press conference in Paderborn, Konate said that life was too short for a divided society. He insisted they must stay together in all circumstances, adding that life is short. According to him, being divided will harm everyone and future generations to come. President Emmanuel Macron called a shock-snap legislative election following a bruising loss in the European Parliament vote to the far-right party of Marine Le Pen. Belgium and France will face off in Düsseldorf on Monday after both failed to finish top of their first round group. China's Yangtze River is facing its first flooding in 2024, with water levels reaching warning stages and major lakes overflowing due to relentless heavy rains. The Ministry of Water Resources says the river is experiencing its 2024 #1 flood as the water level of Juanjiang, a key monitoring station for the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze, has risen to 20 meters, reaching the warning level on Friday. Tributaries flowing into Poyang Lake and Dongting Lake, China's two largest freshwater lakes, have seen major flooding. As of Saturday, the area of Poyang Lake, flooded by the inflow, has expanded to 3,620 square kilometers. The intense rainfall has also led to a more than 5-meter rise in the water level of Dongting Lake within a span of 10 days, expanding its surface area by approximately 1,400 square kilometers. The ministry has raised the emergency responses to the flooding to level 3 in the provinces of Anhui, Jingxi, Hubei, and Hunan on Friday, and urgently sent 4 additional working teams to the front line to provide guidance to the flood relief. China has a 4-tier flood control emergency response system, with level 1 being the most urgent response, and a 4-tier color-coded weather warning system, with red representing the most severe warning, followed by orange, yellow, and blue. Meanwhile, China's National Meteorological Observatory on Saturday issued a red alert for rainstorms, the most severe in its 4-tier weather warning system, with the authorities cautioning about possible geological disasters in rain-hit regions. Firefighters in Arizona are still battling the Boulder View fire, which has consumed 3,200 acres near Sedona, triggering local evacuations. According to the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management, the fire, which began on Thursday, was 0% contained by Friday. Reports say the fire is being fueled by high winds and dry conditions. Authorities said the fire was determined to have been caused by people and is under investigation. Over 100 same-sex couples tied the knot on Friday in a group ceremony that was both romantic and political as part of Mexico City's Gay Pride Celebrations Month. According to reports, 147 couples expressed their commitment to one another in a heartwarming gathering epitomizing their years-long fight for equal rights. The ceremony started with a concert by the Gay Choir of Mexico City, followed by a civil ritual to exchange vows and formalize the marriage. Mexico City was in the global vanguard regarding same-sex marriage. The metropolis legalized such unions back in 2009. Donald Trump is insisting that his supporters prosecuted for their actions in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol should be freed. Trump is citing a Supreme Court ruling in favor of a man who challenged an obstruction charge related to the riot, a charge Trump also faces. Speaking at a campaign rally in Virginia, the former president pointed to Friday's ruling, which raised the legal bar for prosecutors pursuing obstruction charges in the federal election subversion case against Trump and defendants involved in the attack. Trump took several jabs at President Joe Biden's performance during Thursday's night debate. After Biden's shaky performance at the debate with former President Donald Trump, some Democrats openly questioned whether he should be replaced as their candidate for the 2024 elections. Thanks for joining us, and that is the News Hour. I am Vin Martin Obiora Ilo. Thanks for watching.